The start of the season seemed to paint an ideal scenario for the Golden State Warriors. Leading the Western Conference, the team reignited the hopes of their fans, who dreamed of a return to the top. The energy was high, the games were exciting, and the team seemed to be in sync. However, as in every good narrative, challenges arrived unexpectedly. In recent weeks, the team suffered a significant blow, 5 consecutive losses, a hit that not only shook the morale of the roster, but also dropped the team to the 6th position in the standings. This fluctuation raised red flags both internally and among the fans. The big question now is, does the team need drastic changes to regain competitiveness? With the recent drop in performance, rumors of moves in the roster gained strength. Experts suggest that the Warriors may be considering adjustments to the squad to overcome the challenges. Among the names mentioned, Moses Moody and Gary Payton II are seen as possible trade pieces. Although both have shown qualities on the court, they haven't had a significant impact in terms of minutes played or consistent contributions. Moody, in particular, is struggling to expand his role in the rotation, while Payton II, known for his defensive energy, has an attractive contract for other teams looking to strengthen their rosters. Michael Scott of Hoops Hype revealed that some executives from other franchises are keeping an eye on Moody's situation, valuing the flexibility of his contract. Payton II, with a salary of just over $9 million, has also attracted interest in the market. This opens up the possibility that the Warriors could use these assets to pursue more consistent players for the decisive moments of the season. Among the possible targets on the market, the name of Colin Sexton, point guard for the Utah Jazz, stands out as an intriguing option. Sexton is a versatile player with impressive averages of 16.9 points per game and a 42.7% three-point shooting percentage, the highest of his career. The Utah Jazz, facing difficulties at the start of the season, may choose to begin a rebuilding process. This would pave the way for Sexton to be traded to other teams, and the Warriors could be an ideal destination. Adding Sexton to the roster would not only bring offensive power, but also ease the pressure on players like Stephen Curry and Andrew Wiggins. Furthermore, his balance between offense and defense is exactly what the team's bench is missing right now. However, to make this trade happen, the Warriors would likely have to part with young talents like Moses Moody or Brandon Podziemski, in addition to including draft picks in the package. Although the bench is an obvious weak point, other factors have also contributed to the team's drop in performance. The absence of key players like DeAnthony Melton, out for the season due to a serious injury, directly impacted the rotation and the team's dynamics. Even so, strategic adjustments to the roster could offer the necessary balance to get the Warriors back on the path to victories. The challenge, however, is balancing the pursuit of immediate results with the development of young talent, a dilemma that has divided fans and analysts. At this critical point in the season, the big question looming over the franchise is it worth sacrificing young prospects like Moody or Podziemski for more experienced players who are ready to contribute now? Trades like this come at a cost. While Sexton would be a valuable addition, giving up developing talent could lead to regrets in the future. On the other hand, keeping the current roster and relying on internal progress could be an even greater risk, especially in such a competitive Western Conference. As trade rumors and possible acquisitions intensify, an important question must be asked. Do the Warriors really need to make a major change to their roster, or is the key to success in an internal adjustment? The franchise has some promising young players, such as Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, and other talents who could become key pieces in the rotation if they had more opportunities. The challenge is determining when to give these players court time while ensuring the team does not lose competitiveness in such a balanced Western Conference. Moses Moody, although he hasn't made a significant impact so far, has shown flashes of his potential. He is a player with good defense, shooting ability, and the capacity to attack the basket. However, Warriors head coach Steve Kerr seems hesitant to give him more playing time. With more minutes, Moody could develop and become an important piece, but the team can't afford to wait too long. The pressure for immediate results is high, and therefore the question of how to balance Moody's and other young players' development with the need for a competitive roster is legitimate. Another player worth mentioning is Brandon Podziemski. Although his experience is limited, his offensive skills and the energy he brings to the team are remarkable. The question, however, is whether he is ready to play a more substantial role in the Warriors' rotation, especially with the pressure of being on a team still aiming for a championship. The Warriors have a roster that mixes experience with youth, but perhaps it's time to decide, invest in the future or take a risk on the present. The idea of moving pieces like Moody and Payton II in exchange for reinforcements like Colin Sexton could be a way to improve the team for the current season, but this could compromise the franchise's future. On the other hand, trusting in the development of young players may be a risky bet, especially in such uncertain times. Stephen Curry, the team's star, is already 36 years old, and although he continues to play at an elite level, time is running out. The window to secure more titles with him alongside other veteran players like Draymond Green and Klay Thompson is closing. Therefore, the pursuit of experienced players who can contribute now is understandable, however. Trading young talent could result in losses that would be felt by the team in the long term. The balance between these two options, betting on the present or investing in the future, will be crucial for the success of the franchise. Even though Klay Thompson is no longer part of the team, his absence has been a significant milestone for the franchise. Thompson has always been considered one of the greatest legends in the Warriors' recent history, and with his departure, an era has ended. This has also prompted reflection on the longevity of players within the franchise and the legacy they leave behind. Klay was undoubtedly one of the key pieces in the titles won by Golden State, but the team's current reality seems to call for something different. His departure, as painful as it was, allowed the team to make room for new ideas and possibilities. However, the shadow of his absence also serves as a reminder that at some point the great stars must be replaced. The Warriors franchise has undergone a transformation over the years, and now they need to decide how to move forward without their greatest three-point shooter in history. One of the most remarkable characteristics of the Warriors franchise in recent years has been its winning culture. This is not only reflected in on-court achievements, but also in the way the team handles adversity. Since Steve Kerr's arrival, the team has implemented a style of play focused on ball movement, defense, and mutual trust between players. The question many are asking is, how do you maintain this winning culture, regardless of changes to the roster? The answer may lie in a delicate balance between bringing in new players who share the team's values and maintaining the pillars that built the franchise's success. The Golden State Warriors must ensure that the team mentality, focus on defense, and relentless pursuit of improvement with every game continue to be characteristics of the franchise, even as key players leave or new pieces arrive. Klay Thompson's departure, for example, may seem like a tough blow for the team, but it also opens the door for the rise of new leaders. Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and other veterans may now bear even more responsibility, not only on the court, but also as leaders in the locker room. One crucial issue for the Warriors now is the timing of trades. When is the right time to act and bring new pieces to the roster? The trade deadline, typically at the end of February, is approaching, and the Warriors must make a decision on how to approach this window. If the team continues to fluctuate, it's possible that pressure will increase to make a significant trade. On the other hand, if the team starts to stabilize and find a consistent rhythm, perhaps the best option is to stick with the current roster and trust in the development of the players already on the team. We are at a critical moment for the Warriors. The decisions made now will determine not only the performance of the team this season, but also the future trajectory of the franchise. The team has a foundation of experienced players, but today's needs require something more. The search for trades may be a short-term solution, but it could also bring risks for the long term. One of the biggest strengths of the Warriors has always been the leadership of Steve Kerr, a coach who is not only recognized for his innovative style of play, but also for his ability to handle moments of crisis. However, in times of difficulty, such as the recent inconsistency of the team, the question arises, is it time for Steve Kerr to seek significant adjustments in his approach? Or should he continue to believe in the philosophy that led him to success? Kerr has a history of motivating his players and finding creative solutions in times of adversity. The way he has managed the team over the seasons, adjusting the rotation and strategies to adapt to circumstances, has been a differentiator. But at this moment, the pressure is higher. The consecutive losses cannot be ignored, and it is possible that he needs to further adjust his game plan to get the most out of his players and respond quickly to the instability that has set in. Kerr's moves during games and his ability to respond to the dynamics of the match will become even more crucial as the season progresses. One of the coach's most notable characteristics is his confidence in communication with players and his ability to connect the veterans with the younger ones. Balancing the potential of players like Moses Moody and Brandon Podziemski with the experience of Stephen Curry and Draymond Green will be a delicate mission. If there is one thing that has been clear, it's that the Warriors didn't get here just by luck. The franchise has a winning culture shaped by the leadership of players like Curry, Green, and Thompson. Even with Klay Thompson's departure, the legacy of these players still weighs heavily. Curry and Green, now with more responsibility than ever, have been the pillars of the team, but over time, their roles will naturally evolve, and the urgency for new titles grows more intense each season. Curry, in particular, is in a phase of his career where expectations are immense. He continues to be one of the best players in the league, but the need to support his superstar with a solid roster has never been greater. The team must ensure he has the necessary support to maintain a high level of performance throughout the season, without overloading him or forcing him to carry the weight of victories alone. Draymond Green, known for his impenetrable defense and being the heart and soul of the Warriors, has an equally essential role, but his contract and the growing pressure for more consistency on the court raise speculation. The possibility of Green being traded has also been discussed, although his leadership impact is irreplaceable. The Warriors' next moves will need to carefully consider how to maintain the balance between veterans and young prospects without losing the identity that made them a powerhouse in the NBA. In addition to trade rumors, the search for new talents to strengthen the Warriors' rotation remains high. Although the team has some promising pieces like Moses Moody and Brandon Podziemski, it's clear the team needs more consistency and depth. Over the past weeks, the lack of players capable of sustaining the intensity and quality of play in the most critical moments has been evident. This exposes a vulnerability that can be addressed with the addition of reinforcements. One of the most discussed alternatives is the signing of a player with balanced defensive and offensive capabilities, such as Colin Sexton. Sexton, with impressive averages of 16.9 points per game and a 42.7% three-point shooting percentage, is an interesting choice for the Warriors. He could undoubtedly relieve the load on Curry and Wiggins, offering a new rhythm to the rotation and allowing the main players to focus more on the critical moments of the game. However, to acquire someone like Sexton, the team would need to part with some valuable assets, such as Moses Moody or even Brandon Podziemski, as well as potential draft picks. These moves are risky, but the reality of the NBA is that teams that remain stagnant often pay a high price for it. The Warriors, given the current situation, need to consider whether it's time to risk a bolder change or stick with the roster and trust in the gradual development of the young talents. What will the future hold for the Warriors in the coming years? With the era of Curry and Green advancing toward its end, many are questioning what the franchise's legacy will be after these legends depart. The transition to a new era begins now, and it needs to be handled carefully to avoid compromising the team's long-term success. Although the franchise still has a group of veterans representing the heart of the team, the NBA is a ruthless market. What defines a great franchise is its ability to reinvent and adapt. If the Warriors want to continue competing for titles in the coming seasons, they need to think beyond immediate reinforcements and start working on building a solid future. Moses Moody and Brandon Podziemski are just a few of the names that could be the foundation of this new generation, but the team will need more than that. New talents and potential trades could be the keys to ensuring the Warriors remain one of the top powers in the NBA, even after the Curry and Green cycle ends. As the season progresses and the movements begin to gain more attention, one reality is starting to take shape. The pressure for a strong playoff performance has never been higher. The West is more balanced than ever, with teams like the Denver Nuggets, Los Angeles Lakers, and Phoenix Suns fiercely competing for the top spot in the conference. For the Warriors, this means that any slip-up in the regular season could be costly. The battle for a favorable playoff position will be crucial, and the experience of the veterans will be essential in dealing with adversity. What the Warriors need now is not just more talent, but a cohesive team capable of handling the ups and downs of a season full of highs and lows. We are approaching the end of the first third of the season, and the Warriors face one of the most difficult decisions of the last decade. With the instability in performance, the team needs to act quickly to resolve its deficiencies, but should also be cautious, as an abrupt change could affect the team's chemistry. It is a moment of reflection for everyone involved in the franchise. What they do in the coming weeks could define not only the course of this season, but also the legacy of the team in the long term. The Warriors have the chance to be a championship team again, but to do so, they need to reinvent themselves and find solutions that combine experience with youth. The future of the Warriors is at stake, and the decision on the next steps is one of the biggest challenges in the franchise's recent history. Now, we come to the most important part. What do you, Warriors fan, think should happen? What would be best for the team? Trade players like Moses Moody and Brandon Podziemski to bring in an immediate reinforcement like Colin Sexton, or trust in the internal development and bet on continuing the game philosophy that led the team to success? Leave your comments below and share your opinion on the available options. The Warriors season is far from decided, but what happens now could directly influence the future of the franchise. Let's follow together the next steps of this historic team.